Welcome back to Kicking It with Taekwondo. I'm your host, Jazz Rivera, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Master Daniel Park.
Hey everyone, great to be back with you all.
Last week, we dove deep into the mindset of a champion with some incredible insights on mental preparation and goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're switching gears to talk to all the parents out there who are supporting their little warriors on this Taekwondo journey. This is episode 6, The Parent's Guide to Raising a Taekwondo Competitor.
You know, in my 15 years of coaching, I've seen firsthand how much impact parents can have on their child's development in this sport. Sometimes it's incredible support that launches kids to new heights.
Right.
And sometimes well-meaning parents can accidentally create roadblocks.
Exactly. And before we dive in, I want to be super clear. This isn't about shaming any parents. We've all been there, whether as parents ourselves or remembering our own childhood sports experiences. This is about practical tools to make the journey better for everyone.
Let's start with the good news. Most Taekwondo parents are doing amazing things.
The commitment alone is incredible. Driving to practice 3 or 4 times a week, spending entire weekends at tournaments, traveling hours so their child can compete.
The sacrifice is real. Time, energy, finances.
You know what? Let me share a specific example that really illustrates this point. Last month at regionals, I watched a 10-year-old have an incredible match. She was down by a few points, but stayed calm, adjusted her strategy, and came back to win in the final seconds. Pure heart and technique.
That's huge. I see parents who create these great routines at home, making sure their kids get enough sleep, eat properly before training, have their gear ready. They're not trying to teach technique, but they're building the foundation that lets us coaches do our job effectively. And I love what her mom did afterward. Instead of immediately analyzing the match, she just gave her daughter a huge hug and said, "I'm so proud of how you stayed focused and fought back." That's the magic moment right there.
Exactly.
And the best parents I work with have mastered the art of positive reinforcement without pressure. They celebrate effort over results. After a tough loss, they're asking, "How do you feel about your performance?" instead of immediately jumping into what went wrong.
That's so smart, because kids already know when they've made mistakes. They don't need us to point it out immediately. What they need is to know that win or lose, their parents are proud of their effort and commitment.
Right, exactly.
Let's talk about some specific phrases that can make a huge difference. Instead of, "Why didn't you score more?" try, "I saw you really working on your timing today." Instead of, "You should have won that," try, "Tell me what you learned from that match." Now, let's talk about some common mistakes. And again, these come from a place of love and wanting to help, but sometimes that desire to help can backfire.
Absolutely. And here's a big one. How was your warm-up instead of jumping straight into competition results? Or, "I loved watching you encourage your teammate." Show them you notice the whole picture, not just their personal performance. The biggest one I see is coaching from the stands. Parents yelling technique instructions during matches, or even during practice. "Keep your hands up, kick higher, move your feet."
Oh my gosh, yes. I've been there as a parent myself, so I get it. You see your kid struggling and you want to help. But imagine being in a high-pressure situation and hearing multiple voices giving you different instructions.
Exactly.
The kid is trying to remember what his coach taught him, but now they're also hearing mom yell, "Hands up," and dad yell, "More kicks." It's sensory overload.
And often the parent's technical advice contradicts what we've been working on in practice. Maybe we've been focusing on defense and timing, but the parent sees them losing on points and starts yelling for more aggressive attacks.
Right.
Another big one is focusing only on winning. Look, I love when our students win. Competition is important, but if parents are only happy after victories and disappointed after losses, kids learn that their worth is tied to results.
And that's so dangerous, especially for developing athletes. You know what I see happen? Kids start playing it safe. They stop taking risks or trying new techniques because they're terrified of losing and disappointing their parents.
Exactly. They stop learning and growing.
Can we talk about the comparison trap for a second? Why can't you kick like Sarah? Or Tommy's already a red belt and you start at the same time.
Oh, that's painful to witness. Every kid develops at their own pace. Some are naturally flexible, others have great power, some pick up patterns quickly. Comparing your child to another student is like comparing apples to oranges.
Plus, you never know what's happening behind the scenes with other families. Maybe Sarah has been training for 3 years longer, or maybe Tommy's parents drive him to practice 6 days a week. Every family's journey is different, and that's totally okay.
And here's one that drives me crazy: misunderstanding the scoring system and getting angry about bad calls. Parents, please learn how World Taekwondo scoring works before assuming the referee made a mistake.
Oh my God, yes. And getting visibly upset about officiating teaches kids to blame external factors instead of focusing on what they can control, their own performance and preparation.
Exactly. Technique wins when talent gets tired, but attitude wins when everything else is equal.
Before we continue, let's take a quick moment to thank our amazing community for supporting the podcast. Hey, have you seen our new Kickin' It with Taekwondo t-shirts? They're finally here and they look incredible. We've got Master Park's signature technique wins design that's been getting so much love.
And my personal favorite, the Team Traditional and Team Olympic designs, so you can show your Taekwondo style preference.
The coolest part is seeing our podcast family wearing them at tournaments. It's like having our own little community gathering at events across the country. Plus, every purchase helps us keep bringing you this content. Check out the link in our episode description and join the crew. Okay, parents, lean in. This next part might change how you think about your child's future in this sport. Now let's talk about something really big, supporting kids who have Olympic dreams. Master Park, you've worked with some elite-level competitors. What should parents understand about this pathway?
First, the reality check. Making the Olympics in Taekwondo is incredibly difficult. We're talking about maybe a dozen spots for the entire United States across all weight classes, men and women combined. And here's something that might surprise parents. The average age of Olympic Taekwondo medalists is actually 24 years old. These aren't teenage prodigies we're talking about. They're athletes who've had time to develop properly over many years.
Wow.
But here's what I tell parents. The Olympic dream isn't just about making the team. It's about the journey of pursuing excellence. Kids who train with that level of dedication develop incredible life skills.
That's such a good point. The discipline, the resilience, the ability to handle pressure, those translate to everything they'll do in life, whether they make the Olympics or become a doctor or teacher or whatever path they choose.
Exactly. And parents need to think long-term. Elite development isn't about winning every local tournament at age 12. It's about proper technique development, injury prevention, maintaining love for the sport, and gradual progression.
Right, yeah.
I've seen too many promising athletes burn out by 16 because they were pushed too hard too early. The kids who succeed at the highest levels usually have parents who support the process without obsessing over short-term results.
And can we talk about balance? I know parents worry about their kids falling behind academically or socially if they're training seriously. How do you handle that?
Balance is everything. School comes first, period. I've never had an Olympic-level athlete who wasn't also a strong student. The mental discipline required for elite sports actually helps with academics.
That makes total sense.
And social life? Some of their best friendships come from the dojang. They're building relationships with kids who share their values around hard work and dedication. That's pretty powerful.
Master Park, what about the financial reality of elite training? I know that's something parents struggle with, wanting to support their child's dreams, but also being realistic about costs.
That's a tough conversation that needs to happen honestly in every family. Elite training, travel, coaching, equipment, camps, it adds up fast. But here's what I tell parents. Start with your child's genuine passion level, not just their talent. If they're genuinely obsessed with improvement, waking up excited for practice, studying matches on YouTube in their free time, then you explore what's financially possible. But if you're pushing the elite path harder than they are,
That's a red flag.
That's such wisdom right there. And even if elite competition isn't the path, the skills they're building through regular training are still incredible. Can you talk about some of the everyday benefits parents might not even realize their kids are getting? Before we continue with our community segment, let's address something I know many parents face. What do you do when your child says they want to quit? This is probably one of the most common questions we get from listeners.
I had a student a few years ago, Emma, who came to me in tears after practice when she was about 13. She'd been training for 4 years, was a blue belt, but had just lost 3 matches in a row at a tournament. She looked at me and said, "Master Park, I'm just not good at this. I want to quit." Her mom was standing right there, and I could see the heartbreak in both their eyes. I told Emma, "Let's make a deal. Give me 1 more month. If you still want to quit after that, I'll support your decision completely." That month, we focused just on having fun, no competition pressure, just rediscovering why she fell in love with Taekwondo. Emma's now 19, a second-degree black belt, and teaching kids classes. Sometimes they just need permission to take a step back.
Absolutely. Okay, before we wrap up, let's get our community involved. Parents listening, we want to hear from you. What's the hardest part about tournament days for you?
First, find out why. Is it because practice is hard? Because they lost a match? Because their friend quit? Or because they genuinely want to try something else? The reason matters a lot in how you respond. Oh, absolutely. The confidence boost is huge. Kids learn they can set a goal like breaking a board or mastering a new kick, work systematically towards it, and achieve it. That translates directly to school projects, job interviews, everything.
Right. And there's a difference between I want to quit because this is hard versus I want to quit because I've discovered I'm passionate about art instead. How do you help parents navigate that distinction?
And athletes, what's something you wish your parents understood about your Taekwondo experience? Drop those thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and they help shape future episodes. Great question. If it's just because something is challenging, I usually suggest parents set a small goal. Let's make it to your next belt test, or finish out this session. Often kids rediscover their love for it once they push through the temporary frustration. The respect and courtesy aspects are beautiful to watch develop. Kids who bow to their instructors and say yes sir, no sir, tend to be more polite with teachers, coaches, and family. It's not about being submissive, it's about understanding respect as a strength.
We love hearing your stories. Whether it's something that's working great in your family or a challenge you're trying to figure out, share it with the community. We're all learning together. Before we wrap up, let's give parents something concrete to take with them. Master Park and I have put together what we call the Tournament Day Parent Toolkit. 3 simple rules that can transform your child's competition experience.
Rule number 1, no coaching from the stands. Your job is to cheer, not coach. Let your child focus on what their instructor taught them.
Rule number 2, your first words after any match should be encouragement, not analysis. "I'm proud of you" comes before "here's what happened."
Rule number 3, no match breakdown until they're ready. Let them process the experience first. When they want to talk about it, they'll ask.
3 simple rules, but they'll make all the difference. Write them down, share them with other parents, and watch how they transform tournament day for your family. All right, let's bring this home. If there's one key takeaway for parents today, what would it be, Master Park?
Parents, you don't need to be experts in kicks and scoring. You need to be experts in support, encouragement, and love. Trust the coaches to handle the technical stuff. Your job is to be your child's biggest fan and most reliable source of confidence.
Perfect. And remember, every champion was once a beginner who refused to give up. And behind every champion is a support system that believed in them through the tough times.
Next week, we're doing something really special. Episode 7 will be Inside a Tournament Day. We're going to walk you through everything from warm-up to medals, what to expect, how to prepare, and how to handle the emotional roller coaster of competition day.
Can't wait. And remember, everyone, if you didn't yell Kia at least once this week, did you even train?
As always, technique wins when talent gets tired. Keep training, keep supporting, and we'll see you next week.